ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to WWE Monday Night Raw 2016 February 8th review. Now, the one word that could be used in this review is grateful, which was used by Daniel Bryan tonight. Kind of a little bit of a sad moment in professional wrestling history. One of the greats just retired. Kind of feels like he just passed away or something, as strange as that sounds, but thankfully that ain't the case. This show, though, was a complete bore. There was nothing entertaining about it. Nothing really stood out. But the one thing that did stand out was Daniel Bryan's ending speech to the whole show. I did like Brock Lesnar, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns' situation. It definitely looks like they're either going for Dean Ambrose to win the number one contenders match, or have Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose, which I wouldn't be unhappy with Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania 32. I think that would be a very entertaining and fun match to watch. Definitely will bring out the best in Dean Ambrose, kind of like Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin type of match. I don't see Dean Ambrose, if he faces Brock Lesnar, winning the match, but walking away looking great regardless of a win or a loss. Other things involved with this show was just utter crap. Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. This is the third week in a row these guys have faced each other, and Dolph Ziggler walked away with the victory for a 1-2-3 by putting his feet on the ropes, by cheating, which was kind of surprising. The match wasn't all that big of a deal at all. Then after that, we had Charlotte versus Alicia Fox. That match wasn't a big deal. She wins by submission, Charlotte, over Alicia Fox. We had The Miz and The Miz and Chris Jericho doing Miz TV. That was actually an okay segment, despite the fact that Miz absolutely fucking sucks. But it definitely, the tension between Jericho and AJ is really good, and I don't understand why they would settle for this whole idea for SmackDown, when this could be really well built together for a 2-month period leading up into WrestleMania 32. But SmackDown could be a very entertaining show. I truly feel that AJ Styles and Chris Jericho should be the main event of SmackDown this coming Thursday. Well, tomorrow night anyway, since it is pre-recorded. Bray Wyatt versus Ryback. What was the point of this match? It made no fucking sense. I was in and out of sleep with this show. This was the first time ever that I fell asleep throughout the show. 1 minute I'm awake, next minute I was falling asleep. It also had to do with the fact that yesterday I didn't get a lot of sleep either. I was up in the middle of the night and I couldn't sleep all that well. So that might have been a factor to why I wasn't able to stay awake throughout the show, or it might have just been the show was fucking boring as hell, which I truly think that's what the case was. Anyway, Bray Wyatt won by Sister Abigail finisher maneuver by Bray Wyatt. Bray wins the match. Big fucking whoop-de-doo. Who really cares about all that? Next match was Titus O'Neil versus Adam Rose. Again, what's the point here? Where are we gaining? And Adam Rose wins the match. Titus O'Neil's been on a roll the entire time leading into this match, and he loses to Adam Rose. What was the point of him winning it all anyway? And granted, he was beating nothing but a bunch of jobbers, but why would he lose to this jobber? Makes absolutely no fucking sense. Dean Ambrose, he actually was backstage. He was really, really on his game today, tonight with his acting, his character, everything. He was all over this. I really like Dean Ambrose in this whole situation. If anything, WWE is as smart as they claim to be, which I don't believe they are. They need to make Dean Ambrose win this match and face Triple H, not fucking Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, they are not doing anything with him. He is sitting behind Dean Ambrose. If anything, you can get your heel turn out of this. People want to see it, and they are doing it the right way to give him a heel turn anyway. Have him in the background behind Dean Ambrose. I mean, he's the guy that's been chasing after the title. Now all of a sudden he's in the background behind Dean Ambrose, and Dean Ambrose wins the match, wins the world title, and then Roman Reigns turns on him at the end of the show of WrestleMania 32. I think that would be great. It would make a ton of sense. I mean, look at him. He's a guy who was a two-time world champion. Now he's sitting behind an intercontinental champion who, out of nowhere, was given an opportunity to challenge in a number one contender's triple threat match. I mean, that's crazy. So I think that would be great for them to do. But they probably won't because they're fucking idiots. Lucha Dragons versus the Del Rio and Rusev. Boring fucking match. Pointless bullshit. I fell asleep through most of this. And Del Rio and Rusev win. Woo-hoo. Whoop-de-doo. Round of applause for them. Becky Lynch versus Tamina. Who cares? Match was pointless. Tamina wins. She had outside interference by Naomi. Sasha Banks was trying to help assist her to even the odds and make the match a little bit more fair. She ends up getting thrown into the steel steps and then end up knocked out. Becky Lynch tries to help her by attacking Naomi and then runs back in the ring and eats a foot in the face. And that's how Tamina wins the match. From there, we had the Dudley Boys go one-on-one. The Dudley Boys and the Usos facing New Day and Mark Henry. Mark Henry actually was a very interesting choice by WWE. And that was very interesting of all accounts here. But here's something that was strange. The Dudley Boys turned heel. Now, that's an interesting move. And they attacked Jay and Jimmy Uso in this situation and put them through a table. So it was pretty interesting to see. I could not believe that actually happened during the show. So I like the heel turn by the Dudley Boys. I like the somewhat of build with AJ Styles and Jericho. And I also liked the thing with Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar. I think that is turning out great. Whether Dean Ambrose faces for the world title or just faces Brock Lesnar, I think is going to be a great situation for him. He's in a win-win situation, personally, in my opinion. I think he deserves more of a world title shot than to face Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar should go one-on-one with Roman Reigns. Developing the storyline, I'm not quite sure what would be the best way of doing that, but with all that said, I just think that would probably be maybe one of the best ideas they could go with at this point in time, or Brock Lesnar go up against Bray Wyatt, and have Roman Reigns be in Dean Ambrose's corner, and then turn on him at the end of the show, after he wins the title. But that's just my opinion. Now, getting into the most important thing of the whole entire night, which had the most reaction out of anything on this show, and that was Dean Ambrose. Or not not Dean Ambrose, Daniel Bryan, excuse me. Sorry, I'm just a bit tired, and I just wanted to do this video for you guys, so you guys at least get this Raw review from me. But, yeah, Daniel Bryan, based on what he said that he gotten a lot of concussions over his 16-year span of professional wrestling since he was 18. And supposedly he went for a brain scan recently, and they found out something that was unexpected that they didn't see before. And apparently outside doctors besides WWE's doctors have discovered that there is a certain situation that's going on with him, that they're afraid that he would be taking humongous risks trying to continue to wrestle. That might have been made up partially, who knows. I think, truthfully, as pissed off as I am at Vince McMahon and what he's been doing to Daniel Bryan over the years, I think Vince McMahon was doing the best interest towards Daniel Bryan's health and well-being. Point being is, with him telling the history of his health issues with concussions and everything else, besides just in WWE, which is stuff we don't know about because we don't know him personally, but with him explaining and going in great detail about it for over the 15 to 20 minutes that he was on air, it was the best move for Vince McMahon to do that for Daniel Bryan. You look over the years of professional athletes with CTEs. The NFL is getting hit hard with that. A lot of players from the old days, because they didn't properly get these guys to play football the right way, them using their heads, they ended up having severe brain issues, forgetting who they were, where they're from, having emotional disorders, where they end up killing themselves or hurting other people. Chris Benoit, very good prime example. A lot of people say, "Oh, he's just a murderer. He's a killer." No, he was not. I don't care what anyone says. What he did was right? No, absolutely not. I'm not saying I don't condone his actions and what he did, but you gotta understand where the source is coming from and why it happened. It happened because he had a severe brain issue going on inside of his head. That's why Chris Benoit ended up doing what he did. And I think that's what Vince McMahon was trying to avoid with Daniel Bryan and any other wrestler who is, had these kinds of issues. But, maybe he feels bad for the other people that are suing him for concussion issues. And maybe he's going to pay them off. I don't know. I really don't have any idea. But granted, these guys should know that they are taking a risk in their careers doing this type of stuff. That there is risk involved. Anything you do in any kind of sport, you're going to take a risk. You could get a concussion playing basketball, and you hardly are getting hit in the head. And the same thing goes for baseball or any other sport that you play. But Daniel Bryan, had a great career. He really did, despite the fact, as me being a fan, as angry as I feel about the fact that his career is over and done with, and have some sort of speculation at the fact that he might be bullshitting us because he's doing what Vince McMahon told him to say or something like that. I'm not quite sure. I want to believe that, he left on terms because that was the case. It wasn't just BS that Vince McMahon was saying, "Oh, okay, it's time for you to go. We got nothing else to do for you, and we don't want you to take any more chances." I want to believe that Vince McMahon cared about this guy's well-being, his health, and everything else, and just felt that it would be a bad idea for him to continue doing what he was doing, and just, move on with your life or have another job doing something in the WWE. That way you can still support your family. So if that's the case, kudos to Vince McMahon. I think that's a good thing that he's doing for Daniel Bryan, his family, and everything else, preventing him from being another Chris Benoit incident. So definitely, I appreciate that from Vince McMahon if that's what his real intentions are, which I hope they are. I hope it's not something else. Like he didn't want him to ruin Roman Reigns' plans of becoming world champion. God almighty, I can't believe some of the shit I heard these past few months. I really hope that wasn't the case. It was just him being fearful about his health and well-being and possibly maybe hurting himself really bad. That's just how I feel. But he said some things that if I was in his situation, I'd feel the same way. He was great. He had a grateful career. He had the opportunity to meet a nice woman in his life. Have millions of fans around the world cheer for him and make him feel larger than what he was. Helped kids, influence kids. One kid, Connor, who died of an illness, and hope he's up in heaven with God. He was a swell kid from just based on what they showed about him, and it's really sad that that child had to go, based on the illness that he was fighting. But Daniel Bryan was a class act, and sure as hell ended his career as a class act, no matter what. And I wish him the best of luck. Definitely we're going to be talking more about this on Random Wrestling Talk tomorrow night around 8, 9 o'clock, so definitely catch that. And we definitely are going to talk more about this. But it's getting late for me. I got to get to bed and ready for work tomorrow. I'm going to be up at 7 o'clock in the morning. So anyway, I hope you guys liked watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry I don't have as much energy as I normally do for these reviews. But, I've been tired. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep. And I'm going to go ahead, hang up with you guys. Don't forget to leave your comments and opinions down below. I definitely would love to hear from you guys. And smack it down on that subscribe button, okay guys? Thank you very much and have a great night, guys. Bye.